Associate Manager in the College of Education and Human Ecology. And I'm also kind of jumped into the process of helping with graduate student travel funding. Starting in November is when I kind of joined, and we've had some updates, so I'm glad that you're joining us. Feel free at any point in time to unmute yourself and ask questions, raise your hand, put something in the chat to make sure that we address your questions. Megan Zendarczyk, who is our finance officer in educational studies, will also be joining us soon to discuss this as well. Can you all see my screen that I'm sharing for our website? Okay, I'm seeing some thumbs up, so great. So essentially, I thought it would be helpful for this conversation to discuss and show you walk you through the website that we have. So our plan is to have this on the actual EHE website, but while we're waiting for the information to be posted on the website, I made a new website so that you all could reference it. So essentially, my goals today are to make sure that you understand what our travel options are for funding, both through EHE as well as some additional funding resources that we're aware of outside of EHE that you could apply for, and understand the processes that you have to go through in order to request the EHE funding. So on our website, we kind of highlight the different options we have. We encourage students, when you're thinking about travel, to first talk with your faculty members, advisors, faculty in your program, to make sure, one, they're aware of your interest in travel and presenting. So in order to receive the funding in EHE, you must be presenting your original research at a national or international meeting. So we want to make sure that your faculty know that you're interested, that if you have applied and received a presentation acceptance, that they're aware of that, because that's a really big deal. You should be really proud of that achievement. And these awards are meant to help support that professional development, to help you have those experiences. So you can request funding from your faculty members. Now, not everybody might have funding, but it never hurts to ask and see if maybe they have the ability to help support your travel. We also have a department award, and you can request up to $350 from your departments. And then our Office of Research, Innovation, and Collaboration, also known as ORIC, has a $250 matching opportunity for you. Now, a matching award means that you have to have some other funds first in order for them to give you the match of $250. So a great example of that would be requesting the funding from the department. You get the department award, then you can also make sure to request from ORIC, because you have that matching funds. So external funding from, like, for example, Student Life, if you get a Ray Travel Award, or faculty funding can also be used as a match for that. So next, I wanted to review the eligibility guidelines for you to understand how you would be eligible in order to apply for these awards. You must be pursuing a graduate degree in the College of Education and Human Ecology at The Ohio State University, so enrolled in an EHE graduate program. Be in good standing in the grad school, which is defined as at least a 3.0 CPHR. Maintain reasonable progress towards your degree. Be presenting results of your original research at a national or international meeting, as I had mentioned earlier. Submit a complete travel award application and receive approval prior to travel taking place. And this is really key here, and something I've been trying to emphasize students as I'm also learning about the travel process is it's really important to plan ahead and submit your requests as early as possible. I generally recommend, once you receive your presentation acceptance, if you know you have your budget worked out and if you get the funding, then you're going to go to the conference, I would suggest filling out the form earlier rather than later, because we have seen instances where students are in a panic because they apply like the week before they're going to the conference. Technically, that is still within that timeline that we give, but then that puts a little bit of extra stress on you. So planning ahead and doing it earlier rather than later, it will definitely help be a little bit more proactive in that situation. Students may only be awarded one department and one ORIC award each academic year with a max of 3 each. So you want to make sure that you're planning out that in the long term as well, what opportunities you have for funding. If you are on this chat and you are a staff employee, full or part-time, enrolled in an EHE graduate student program, you're eligible as well for a travel grant. And your statement of account must be paid in full. So your tuition and fees need to be paid. Any late fees or fines that you have on your account need to be paid at the time of application, so that we make sure that you're eligible for the award. Also, something to keep in mind is going back to the eligibility guideline of being enrolled in a graduate program. If you would graduate prior to the travel taking place, then you would no longer be eligible for an award. So for example, last semester, I had a student who filled out an application and they were going to graduate in spring semester, but they were submitting for conference funding for the following August. And at that point, they would already have been graduated and would hopefully be employed, have an employment experience where they could request that funding from their new employer and not from EHE, since technically they wouldn't be meeting the guidelines of being enrolled. So definitely pay attention to that when you're planning as well. Okay. Are there any questions about the eligibility guidelines? See anything in the chat? Okay. All right, so then I am going to kind of switch gears a little bit and show you what you need to have prepared in order to fill out the application. So the application materials for requesting are a brief description of your research. And when submitting for a presentation, typically you have to submit a kind of like an abstract or a description of your research anyway. So it's completely fine to attach that instead of creating a new document. That is completely fine. We just ask so that we have a basic understanding of what you will be presenting and that it's your original research. An acceptance letter for your presentation at the conference or the meeting, and a notification of any additional awards. So if you have received any additional awards, such as like the Ray Travel Award or the Women's of Place Awards, since those are some common awards that we tend to see, please make sure to attach that information. That helps us with the planning and support that we can give you on the administrative side when helping you figure out how we need to process your awards, plan your budgets as well. So that's why we ask you for those documents. And if you can put them in PDF format, that is ideal for us. So one thing we are working on right now, we do have separate applications for the department award, and then a separate application for the ORIC award. And then our process for requesting faculty funds is for you to kind of email back and forth with your faculty member and see if they can provide you a letter or an email, either confirming or saying that they don't have the funds to support you, to also attach the award. And then we thought that process was a little bit clunky, and students were giving us feedback that they were filling out kind of similar applications for both the department and ORIC, and it was hard to find links for everything, which is why we are working on a centralization process. It should be ready by Monday, so that we have one single application for you to fill out. So I'm going to show you what the application looks like. We're in stage 2 of 3 of testing it, so it should pretty much look like this, what you're expecting. So essentially it'll be through DocuSign and PowerForm. And I know some of you are familiar with DocuSign. Essentially you click on the link and you'd be asked to put in your information as well as your faculty advisor's information. And then you would be taken to a screen that looks like that, an application that looks like this. So you'd be asked to fill out your contact information so that we know who to send the award to. We confirm you're enrolled in the semester, number of credit hours, and what department you're in. And then you'll fill out information about the conference. So things such as what's the conference you want to go to, what are the conference dates, the location, what's the title of your presentation, estimated travel costs. And we understand that at this point in time, it's estimates, but try to get as close as possible to the estimates, because these are helpful for us to know, to make sure that We are not over awarding you, and we understand the amount of support that you're looking for. This section right here is where you would upload those PDFs that I was referencing. So that's why I recommend having those ready to begin with. So your conference acceptance, your presentation acceptance, your research, and then if you have any other funding. And then you would indicate on the form what funding you would like to apply for. You could apply for faculty program funding, department funding, ORIC funding. You can apply for all three. You can apply for just one, although keep in mind, there's a reminder that ORIC is a match award. So that would be important for you to make sure that you have funding that you can either supply as a verification. If you have a Ray Travel, you attach that, or if you want to do the department as the match, you would click department and ORIC. So then that's all you have to do, and you would be directed by DocuSign to come down here and sign and submit. And then the form would come to me, and I review that eligibility criteria we just reviewed. So if you meet those criteria, I say yes, and then sign it just like you did and move it on. So then it would move on to whoever you have indicated. So if you've indicated faculty, they would be first. So their information would be listed here. They would just enter their information here. Are you able to provide travel funding for the applicant? Yes or no, the amount, and then the work tax. And we decided to do this because based on some feedback from faculty, like I said earlier, they weren't sure, do I need to provide a formal letter? What information do you need? It was a lot of back and forth in trying to gather the necessary information. So this helps streamline the process and hopefully reduce the amount of work for the faculty as well, to decide, like, do I have to write a letter, spending time writing a letter, and all the back and forth emails. So, and then once this part is filled out, the faculty member would just sign, and it would move on to the appropriate department's finance officer. And they would review the work tax to confirm and fill in any blanks that the faculty member might not know. And then select whether the student will be getting a $350 option for the department award or other. And we have other there just so that you know, because not everybody needs the $350. Some students only request, like they estimate that they are going to maybe a virtual conference. They're presenting at a virtual conference, just need funding for maybe a student rate for the conference. It could be like the other day I had one that was like $99. So then we would just put other and put in the $99. So the student's not over awarded, and that option, they can also then look into applying for funding for the rest of the money for maybe another conference in another semester. And then once the finance officer fills out their portion, they sign, and it moves on to ORIC if that was selected. And ORIC fills out the information, indicates their information, and then signs. And that would be it. The final approval would come to me. And then after that, I would take the appropriate action depending on the student situation. So our typical process for getting the funding to you is that we're going to report the funds to student financial aid, and they will process it and it will reflect as a refund on your statement of account. Now, because we're providing the funding this way, it does get calculated into student cost of attendance. And because federal regulations require that we report any part of like financial aid that students are receiving to the Office of Financial Aid, so it can be calculated into the cost of attendance. Now, for about 99% of our student population who applies, this process flow works perfectly. It shows up as a refund on your statement of accounts, and you receive the funds. Students often ask me how much time can they expect to see the funds as a refund. And this kind of really depends, because I will fill out what we call a journal and workday and have the funds sent over to financial aid to be reported. But then they kind of take the process from there. So we're subject to whatever their policies and processes are. I can tell you over the last month, what I have been seeing is it's been taking about 5 to 7 business days for the funding to post. And then most students have reported that by the end of the month, they have received the refund and the deposit in their account. So I see that Megan Zendarczyk, our finance officer in educational studies, has joined us. I am going to take this time then to turn it over to Megan so that she can explain to you kind of what the process looks like in the event that maybe a student has reached their cost of attendance or falls into a situation where they can't receive the funding through the Office of Financial Aid, and we need to explore what we call spend authorization process. Megan, you want to take over?
Yes, I do. All right. Thank you everyone for taking the time to be with us today. I know that this is a really important topic for a lot of students that want to be traveling or are planning on traveling either this spring or upcoming summer or fall of academic year 23-24. So there are going to be a couple situations where we're not going to be able to utilize financial aid direct deposit as a way of funding your travel. And some of those are laid out here really nice and neat. So if you're a student athlete, you're under NCAA guidelines and you cannot receive additional funding via your student financial aid. In that case, and in a couple other cases, which I'll detail in a second, we have to go through a different process. So some of you may have experience going through the spend authorization and expense report process. This is a way of putting you through the Workday system, and it'll be a similar process to what your advisor or the faculty member goes through in order to book their travel and then proceed to go on their travel and be either reimbursed or prepaid for most of their expenses. Aside from student athletes, there are students who have met the cost of attendance and that cannot go over. In those cases, as well as cases of Ray Travel Award, some of the Women's Place Award, or other external university scholarships, they want the students' travel to be recorded through the system so they can make sure that those scholarship funds are being utilized in the appropriate manner. In those cases where that is a requirement of receiving that money to travel, we will ask you to go through and work with our office. If you're in human sciences, you'd work with April Homelak's financial office, or in TNL, you'd work with myself or Leslie Enderman. And you would need to go through Workday and the travel process. So what that looks like is we will try to prepay as many of your travel expenses as possible prior to attending the conference. So typically the main largest uses of your funding would be your registration for the conference, which we'd be able to prepay via P card, your flight to the conference, which we will be able to book through our corporate travel planners and their online Concur travel portal. And the third option, and in most cases, I won't say in all cases, but in most cases, we will be able to prepay hotel. And that would all be done via working with a specific department travel coordinator. For the most part, that's going to be your fiscal coordinator in that department. In human sciences, it's Ebonique. In TNL, it is Leslie Enderman. And we just had a new fiscal coordinator start in educational studies. And as soon as she is up and running, she will take over that process as well. The reason why we are doing this is to reduce any cost from those awards being directly received by the student. So according to financial aid guidelines, if you don't actually receive the money from the award and we pay it to third-party entities, then that does not count against your student financial aid cost of attendance. Therefore, you wouldn't have to lose any financial aid. There would be no impact on your financial aid package, and everything would be paid out to third-party vendors. In the off chance that we do not spend all of that money, you would have the opportunity to either choose not to be reimbursed if it would affect your cost of attendance on any additional funding for that travel grant or award, or we would be able to reimburse you via the expense reimbursement process. And that would go through Workday and then be directly deposited into usually the same account as your student financial aid account is attached to. Those processes look a lot different. So when Amanda journals money into your student financial aid account, that money goes directly to you hopefully prior to your departure. And then you're able to utilize those in any way you see fit to fund your travel. So that could be hotel, flight. If you're driving a car, it can be used for gas or mileage. Any food that you'd be eating at the conference, registration, et cetera, et cetera. However, if you have to go through the spend authorization process, we do require that you keep receipts for anything that would possibly be reimbursed after you return. So if you would have extra money left over after you prepay as many items as possible in your business or in your travel, then you would be eligible for those reimbursements after you return if you choose to do so. And again, every student has to really make those decisions based on the cost of their cost of attendance if they're at that level, or if you're doing the spend authorization travel process through Workday, you would get money back based on the award you be receiving. So your money doesn't change, the award doesn't change. It's just how we're processing it through the system. Again, for the vast majority of students, you'll be going through Amanda's process of receiving your money through financial aid. It is on a case-by-case basis, which will ask you to go through the spend authorization process. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you, Megan.
I actually have a quick question.
Sure.
Just as in regards to funding, if I am unable to get funding through my department because I did it last semester and I have no other, like I've tried to apply for the external graduate council of graduate student funds, but that hasn't happened. If I get funding outside of the university, like say for a conference travel grant through the association that's putting on the conference, can that count towards ORIC, or does it have to be funds that are awarded through the university only?
I do not know the answer to that question. Amanda, do you?
I was just going to say that is an excellent question, Neil. So I am actually meeting in like 2 hours with ORIC. So I will put that on the list and send it out to the group as well. Because that would be a decision for them that they would have to make. So I'll check into that and clarify for you. And then I will also, that's a great question. So I will also add that information to the website so that we have that covered for future.
Yeah, if you could, I mean, just as a point of just trying to encourage more expansively, it can be really limited in terms of where we can get funding around the university. And so I understand if work really is trying to keep it within the university, but it's just, it's not always possible. And so because funding can be really hard to get in the first place, it would just be lovely if they would be willing to consider that.
Yes, I will definitely make sure to express that.
Thank you.
Amanda, do you want to take, how do you know if you've reached your cost of attendance? And I will take the second half of that question.
Sure. So sometimes if a student doesn't notify me that they have reached their cost of attendance and I journal the funds over, financial aid might come back to me and say, the student has reached their cost of attendance and we don't have any other options for increasing it. And then I would typically go back and say, can they fill out an application to request an increase? And then they would give me feedback on next steps, if that's an option or not. If not, then I would connect you with the appropriate finance team in your department so that then we could take and go through the process that Megan had just discussed. So it's not like you have to memorize everything that Megan just said. We want you to be aware that there are different processes. We want to make sure that since there are multiple options that we have and processes take time at the university, we want you to plan ahead so that if something like this happens, for example, I had to spend the time sending it to financial aid, waiting for them to tell me, and then we have to go with the second process option. That's already some time that has passed, and that kind of closes the gap a little bit in terms of purchasing items for you for your travel. So that's why planning ahead and applying early is helpful, or if knowing your cost of attendance, that in communicating with me beforehand about that would be helpful too.
I'll handle the section B. Based on the form, what we're trying to say is cannot only be used for those 3 items. Travel, lodging, and registration are just typically the 3 largest items, which will eat up the majority of your budget, especially if you're only applying for the student travel award from the department and an ORC award. $600 is often not a lot to travel on, especially now with the cost of a cost of an airfare or the cost of lodging. Typically we see most travels that eats up the larger part of the cost. You are allowed to use funding towards meals or per diem. However, those are not able to be prepaid. So again, if you are a student that is at cost of attendance and we reimburse you money after the fact or after your travel's done, then that money will be counted against your cost of attendance and could throw you over. So any money that touches your hands, if you are close to cost of attendance, you need to be aware that could affect your financial aid, what funds are available to you next year. So it's not saying that you're not able to use the funding. It's just typically we see the majority of the funding eaten up with those 3 main items.
I have a follow-up question about that. Does it apply to like this like F1 like foreign international student as well? Like COA is the concept that I just like recently know through this session, and I wonder if international students also have COA and if this applies us to us as well.
There, from what I understand, there is a funding limit for international students as well. I mean, like I said, I've just been doing this since November and I haven't seen any come back on any international students yet. So I don't know kind of what that notification is and what the specifics are. I can certainly look into that more with financial aid to make sure that we understand that as well. But like I said, I haven't come across that yet.
Thank you.
I also have a question.
Sure.
I sent you an email actually, Amanda, but I was just curious what makes the difference in the process, because for Oregon program, I got an email that I need spend authorization process via Workday, and for EHE, I will get like refund directly to my account. So I was curious what makes the difference.
Sure. So I believe for your situation, I'm trying to remember specifically. I think maybe you fell into the category for the OSP grant. Is that where your faculty funding came from? I'm trying to remember. Or did you get an outside award?
I think it's just consular education.
Okay. So for you, I've been waiting. I'm sorry, I forgot specifically. For you, I've been waiting on work tax to submit your awards.
So if that happens, do I still need to go through authorization process?
You know, let me I'm trying to think of why specifically I can't think off of the top of my head your specific situation now about why you might have been told the spend off situation. So let me after this,
you may have fallen in between the time where we had half the students filling out spend authorizations
and half not. Have you started a spend authorization?
No, I just got an email about how I should do that.
Okay, so I'll email you back. I'll check into it. I think I have to check with Leslie for you specifically.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any other questions? Okay, there are just a few more items that I wanted to make sure that we covered as well for the funding information. And international travel, if you are planning to travel internationally, there are some additional steps that you need to take. So there's some additional forms that you need to fill out in registration so that we make sure that you have your supplemental insurance covered. We're aware of your travel. So there is there's information on the website if that does pertain to you. It's not super common that we see international travel, but it could be possible. I also want to make sure that you all are aware, we've discussed a couple other external awards to EHE, and there are other awards outside that you could potentially apply for at the university. A common one we see is the Ray Travel Award, and you can get up to $1,000 through the Ray. The thing that is really important to understand about the Ray Travel Award is that their application process is a little different than ours. So they actually have deadlines for that you have to meet to fill out your application. And then you also have to pay attention for the application you fill out to fill out the correct one for when your conference is. So for example, there was just a deadline recently for of February 1st to apply for funding for experiences that happened between April and I think June. So you have to really plan ahead with that award. And if you're using it for a match, you'll be notified after February 1st, obviously. The Ray Travel is also a reimbursement. So that's also something to keep in mind if you're planning and you need the funding before you go on your travel experience. The Ray Travel is a reimbursement, so you have to have plans on how you can fund that until you can get reimbursed that funding. There's other grant opportunities to the grad school, so I have that link there depending on different things you're looking for. And both the grad school and the Council of Graduate Students have additional funding opportunities that you can apply for general professional development experiences. So presenting at a conference could fall under that, but also if maybe you're just planning to attend a conference, you would be eligible for those awards or other professional development experiences. So definitely look into those as well outside of travel opportunities also. The Office of International Affairs has some scholarships and grants for international students, as well as those interested in studying abroad in certain programs. So definitely look at what they have and see if maybe that falls in line with an experience that you're looking at. Critical Difference in the Women's Place has different scholarship and grant opportunities for students, faculty, and staff. So different options for you to look into. These are the ones that I found so far. And as I'm finding more, I'll make sure to post them here. If you're aware of other opportunities across the university that maybe you've applied to or you've learned about, please let me know, because I will add them to the site so that all of the EHE students can benefit from that as well. And lastly, I just wanted to make sure to congratulate our 22-23 award winners so far. There's a long list. So since I started this process in November through the beginning of February, we've already awarded 85 students, which is wonderful. And it's been across the college over like $43,000. So there's a lot of support going out there for students who all are doing wonderful things. So there is a lot of opportunity for awards for you. So I will stop sharing my screen and open it up to general questions that anybody might have. And if I've missed any, I think we've got everything covered in the chat as well, but feel free to let me know if you have any remaining questions. You can also come off mute as well.
I have a question.
Okay, sure.
So in order to be eligible for this grant, I have to be the presenting author, not the co-authors of the papers got accepted.
I mean, if you are presenting, like if you're presenting as part of a team, you would be eligible to apply for awards.
Oh, so as long as I present, it doesn't matter if I'm the first author or second author?
Right, right.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question too. I think I got the answer during one of your examples, but this funding also applies for the virtual presentations for right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We're seeing those more often now since the pandemic, but yes, virtual options as well.
And is there a limit, like, similar to the GRA position, like, you can get it, or you can get it after 4 years of like, your student?
Yeah, so you can be awarded up to 3 times for the department, up to 3 times for ORIC. So essentially, like if you apply every year for the next 3 years.
is there a limit for you can apply after your 4th year? Like, is it like, so it's not limited about how long you're.
No, it's not limited on how long you're here. So if you're here if you're here for a total of 5 years and you apply like year 2, 3, and 4, that would be where you're at. Or if you decided I'm going to apply year 3, 4, and 5. So we're more concerned about the number of times that you've received the award rather than when as part of your academic career you're receiving it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And also just to kind of emphasize, if you have questions throughout any time of the process or it comes up, feel free to reach out. I am right now the contact person, so definitely let me know if you have those questions. Our plan is to disseminate the information starting on Monday. There should be an announcement coming out, and then I plan on sending out reminders every semester about like the travel opportunities to remind you that they're there. Make you aware of any new ones or any changes that might come up. Keep in mind, this is going to be a big change for us coming on Monday with combining the awards. So with every change, there's sometimes like some kinks to work out. So we'll make sure to communicate those if anything needs to be adjusted. If you Michelle asked if there's a new form coming out on Monday. Should we wait if we have funding requests till that new form comes out to ease the process? That is completely up to you. I've been processing same day as they're coming in, unless there's something that I need to look into. So if you want everything processed this week, you can submit it now. If you want to wait till Monday, that is fine too. Michelle, I could actually even send you the link and you can test it out for me. Any other questions?
So I know you went through this one, but in terms of like, clarifying it. So let's go through like, the new format, like, applying through just one way. And then so I know that ORIC has a matching fund too. So when we select ORIC there, is it applies for the matching fund, or it is like, a fund that is coming just through ORIC, like,
So ORIC is only a matching fund. So you have to have some other documentation to show that you're receiving a match. Now, if you're using the department award for a match, you would just select department and ORIC, and the department overview would go first. And in most cases, department awards are approved and then it would go to ORIC. If for some reason the department award wasn't approved and you selected an ORIC match, I would reach out to you to kind of do some clarifications or discuss what the issue is. If you just apply for the ORIC and don't attach any other awards with it, like an external award, you're most likely going to be denied because there is no other matching funds that you included.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So for your department award, so having the faculty support is kind of the prerequisite to get the department award.
So we want you to request funding from your faculty, but also to make sure that they're aware that you're receiving, like you're applying for awards, because of feedback I got from quite a few faculty where they wanted to know that you were applying for award in general. So even if they say, no, I don't have any funding, that isn't going to determine whether or not we say yes or no on the department award. It'll just come to me. I'll make sure you still meet the eligibility guidelines. And then if you do, move it forward. So the department award is not a matching award, but it's more of kind of like a notification, and also like an easier way for faculty to be able to input any funding that they might have. So it's department's not a matching, so that's okay.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, well, my contact information is on the website, and I believe the link was shared, but I'll also share it again in the chat. And then I'll put my contact information in there as well. Feel free to reach out if you have questions as you're kind of thinking about this and something else comes up, feel free to reach out to me and we'll address it as it comes, okay? All right, thank you so much for attending.